5 affordable perfumes that smell incredibly expensive. Now, here's the thing. We have the originals, which more often than not go for hundreds and hundreds of dollars. The good news is that you're not going to get any of that from these fragrances. You're not going to spend an arm and a leg. You're not going to break the proverbial bank purchasing any of these fragrances. You're going to pay in the vein of 30, 40 bucks, but you're going to get something that is rich, something that is long lasting, something that is highly comparable to the original. And even if there's an olfactive deviation, it's one that I give my stamp of approval to. And it's one that I would personally say, you know what, you don't need the original if you have this one. I think it tackles the same situations, the same occasions in many cases. Some of these actually even do it better. I know the price difference is a strong enough incentive for a lot of people to get these fragrances instead of the original. But nevertheless, before I dive into the review, I do want to mention that if you're a fan of fragrance-related content, and of course, if you love smelling your best, hit subscribe, hit the bell, and give this video a thumbs up for the algorithm. It would really, really mean a lot to me, and it helps tremendously with the discovery of the channel. So these are 5 super affordable fragrances that can be had for a really, really good price. I mean, the affordability is second to none with a lot of these brands. And, you know, the presentation is there too for a lot of them. You'll see that with a lot of them, there is no corners being cut as far as the presentation is concerned. So the first one, and I just want to go ahead and talk about this one because it's like a brand new fragrance. It just dropped. And even though I've had my bottle now for a while, I actually have 2 bottles of it because I purchased 2. It's a beautiful fragrance. This one is by Lattafa, and it's called Fire on Ice. As you can see, there's also like this faux ice cube in the middle of the bottle there. And this is the brand's take on Angel Share Paradis by Kilian Paris. Now this one opens up with that juicy raspberry note. And that's what's different between, and I love how the information of the fragrance is actually on the cap. First time I've seen that being done. This one is the brand's take on Angel Share Paradis, which is raspberry, cinnamon, it's boozy, there's cognac, it's rich, it's ambery, it's a bit sweet in the dry down, definitely heavy on the resins. And Fire on Ice takes that Angel Share Paradis DNA and it just does something so beautiful with it. And it's also super strong. Lattafa perfumes, historically, given my experience, and obviously I've owned so many Lattafa perfumes throughout the years. I have spent easily thousands of dollars on Lattafa products going back to like 2012, 2013, where I purchased Ragba Wood Intense, Amir Al Oud, so on and so forth. And I still buy Lattafa perfumes because, I mean, this brand, chef's kiss. But if you want Angel Share Paradis on the steepest budget, Fire on Ice by Lattafa is the way to go. Not to mention that it is housed in a beautiful bottle, and the presentation, the performance, everything about it is top notch. So I'm going to show you another bottle, and this bottle is also super cool. Again, it shows you that you don't have to cut corners if you don't want to spend a lot of money, but you want something that is very high quality, long lasting. This one is by Arabat Prestige, and it's called Safa. Now, I'm just gonna, if you want, pause the video and tell me what fragrance do you think this one is inspired by? Okay, so this one is inspired by Parfum de Marly Delina. That's what I get. It's this beautiful Delina alternative. It is so good. You don't need Delina if you have Safa by Arabat Prestige. The quality from this fragrance, so I ended up picking one up when I was in Miami. I was giving a presentation and I discovered Bahia Garnet from this brand. Freaking fell in love with it. It is such a beautiful fragrance. The cherry, the amber, the warmth, it is inspired by Black Opium Over Red by Yves Saint Laurent, except they replaced the patchouli with fig. So it's a bit creamier, it's richer, it has like this coconut personality in it. So it's basically fig and cherry with a hint of amber. It is beautiful. If I end up doing another installment to this series, I will definitely talk about Bahia Garnet again. I've already talked about it several times on multiple platforms, but Safa is beautiful. I mean, vanilla, peony, lychee, rose. Everybody is familiar with that DNA. Now, this next one, it's so funny because I picked this one up and I said, oh, I know what this next one is, because if this is inspired by Delina, this has to be inspired by Oriana, right? It's not. This one is called Uhud. And this one is actually, oh my God. This one is more in the vein of a Bianco Latte by Giardini di Toscana. So vanilla and caramel. There's so much caramel in this. But you know, at the same time, I thought I was getting something similar to a Kayali, like vanilla rock candy or vanilla rock sugar. What is it called? Maybe that, or Yum Bougie marshmallow. I was getting something Kayali-esque in this. But yeah, I am getting a lot of that Bianco Latte DNA, which, by the way, there's a lot of other fragrances that utilize that Bianco Latte DNA that I think do it so incredibly well. But this one is actually quite different from Bianco Latte. It almost has like this sugary, fruity thing happening in here. And it's not in the note breakdown, but I'm telling you, this is gorgeous. I would recommend this over Bianco Latte any day, because this is going to get you 10 hours longevity. Bianco Latte is going to get you 5 hours longevity. It's a no-brainer as far as I'm concerned. Again, by Arabat Prestige, we have Safa and Uhud. I also picked up Bahia Garnet, and I have a few others from the brand. And there's another one with a really interesting presentation. It's called La Dida. I'm going to get that one soon as well, because that one is actually the most masculine that I've tried from the brand. And that's the one that I would personally wear. Kind of seems like a hybrid between Myself by Yves Saint Laurent and I think Stronger With You by Emporio Armani. I have to revisit it, but when I tried it, that's the vibe that I was getting from it. So Arabat Prestige, incredible brand, super affordable. Check them out. I'll drop all of the links down below. Not commission links. I don't make affiliate money from you purchasing these fragrances. I just want to put them on your radar. And then the last two that I'm going to talk about. So we have two from one brand, two from another brand. And of course, this brand is Dossier. Now, Dossier is a brand that I have been collecting for many, many, many years. If you just search up Dossier and Redolessence here on YouTube, you'll see that I have done, 50 Dossier reviews, right? When there's a brand that I discover that I can really stand behind, that produce quality fragrances, I am not ashamed to talk about them. And again, look at the color of the liquid inside this bottle. You know this stuff is going to be long lasting. So Dossier had always been available in 50 ml bottles. Now we have the 100 mls. These are huge. If you have one of these, this is going to last you for months. Well, it depends on how liberally you apply your fragrance. But for me personally, with as many fragrances as I have in my collection, I know these are going to last me for a long time. So I have both the 50 ml and the 100 ml variants to these fragrances. We have floral marshmallow and we have woody sandalwood, two affordable fragrances that smell so expensive. Why? Woody sandalwood is inspired by Santal 33 by Le Labo. This one has violet, cardamom, orris, ambrox, cedarwood, cypriol, musk, sandalwood, and amber. I don't see papyrus written anywhere here, but I know that's a note that's found in the original. And floral marshmallow, if you couldn't already tell by the name, there are very few fragrances that contain marshmallow. Yes, one of them is Yum Bougie Marshmallow by Kayali. The other one, of course, is Oriana by Parfums de Marly. But the first to ever do it is Love Don't Be Shy by Kilian Paris. Marshmallow, neroli, bergamot, orange blossom, honeysuckle, jasmine, orris, amber, vanilla, and musk. You're going to get orange blossom, marshmallow, and vanilla more than anything else. If you want to forget about all of the other notes and focus on just three, those are the three. And the vanilla is very prominent and prevalent. The marshmallow gives it like this sweet, sugary personality. And then you have the orange blossom, which again is paired up with the neroli to give you this bright, citrusy yet floral touch. And both of these are two affordable fragrances that smell so expensive. Dossier also has original creations that I would totally recommend you buy or check out. And, they have a really good return policy. Their presentations are quite minimalist, which keeps the cost down. And look, I have acquired so many dossiers throughout the years. I have probably close to 70 or 80 bottles of Dossier. Anyway, you can check out my reviews here. You know exactly how many I have. Thank you so much for watching. These were 5 affordable perfumes that smell so expensive. And if you have these, you don't really need the originals, Again, if you want to be more conservative, more frugal with your spending, these are such incredible alternatives to the originals. And it's up to you. It's up to you. I'm not one to tell you how to spend your money or where to put your dollar. But again, if you are like me and you want to prioritize other matters like paying the mortgage and making sure my daughter has a comfortable life and all these other things, then, you want to go ahead and, spend your money where it needs to be spent, and it just goes to show you that through the reverse engineering process when it comes to perfumes, which is called GCMS, you really don't need to spend an arm and a leg to get something comparable, right? So thank you so much for watching. If you took anything of value from today's episode, I would really appreciate it if you would consider supporting the channel by clicking subscribe, hitting the bell, and giving this video a thumbs up. Thank you so much for spending the day with me today. Thank you so much for watching, especially up until the very end. Few people make it this far, but I love you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you for watching. I hope you're having a beautiful day, and we'll see you tomorrow with a new episode.